Much. All right, thank you so much, everybody, for joining us for yet another episode of the Faces of LX SE show. Here we're all about telling the amazing stories of our LX software engineering learners and the amazing things that they are doing across the globe. My name is Joy Tino. I'm your host, and today I'm joined by Pinto Okowa, and he's taking the LX backend short 6-month program. And let me allow him to introduce himself. Hi, Pinto. How are you?
Hi, Joy.
Tell
I'm
us a little
Pinto.
about yourself. Yeah, go on.
Yes, I'm Pinto Okowa. I'm an environmental engineer. I'm based in Belgium, but yeah, I'm following the ALX program because it's possible to follow it from anywhere around the world.
Amazing. So you are all the way in Belgium, and someone will say, "Oh, ALX is an African-focused program." How did you even hear about it? How did you get to discover the backend program? How did you hear about it, and why did you join? Why did you think this is the ultimate decision?
Yeah, it's actually interesting how I got to learn about ALX because it's from a friend that we studied in bachelor's when I was in Nairobi, because I actually went to school in University of Nairobi for my bachelor's. So it was a classmate. We were together, but then we were following each other on LinkedIn. So I just see he has graduated with the software engineering. So the previous version of the whole that took 12 months. So I see he's on LinkedIn, and I'm like, this looks good because it's something that I'm actually interested in, because I've always wanted to create, Sorry, just give me a minute.
Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So I've always wanted to create, and so I was looking around already before that. I was looking to study software development because I had interest in it. So I see my friend is graduating from ALX, and so I slide into his DMs, and I'm like, bro, can you tell me about this program, because this looks like something which I'm really looking at the moment. And then he tells me all about it, and then I go to the website and I find everything there, and then that's how it all starts. I send in my application, I say I'm interested in doing the course, and then from there I think it was seamless because the support is so great. I think it was very seamless despite the fact that I was already out of the country. The response was quick. Like, I would do this and then I get response feedback on email, and then so it was easy to follow up until I ensured that I was registered for actually the first cohort for backend development. Yeah.
Amazing. A lot of people are looking at the cost factor. The cost has a small fee that you have to pay, and sort of like they shy away from that. For you, how did you make that decision? Because like they're like, oh, are you going to get value for your money?
I think if you do research about software development and the cost of getting this type of skill, you'll realize that what ALX is actually charging for the course is quite affordable. Yes, it could be high as an individual, as somebody who is still trying to make a life. But I think if you're actually committed to wanting to be a software developer, I really found it. I didn't even think of it, sorry to say, but I didn't think of it because when I saw it's like 200 euros. So I've also lived in Kenya like all my life. So I still know that's a lot in terms of being in Kenya, but that's like, say now with the rates, it's like 30,000. So I was like, 30,000 to get a chance to study software development with what you can do with it, I think it's crazy. So I didn't even think of that. I was like already into it, and actually I was, because it's also like a scholarship kind of
It has already been subsidized.
yes, to lift the African people and youth to have some skills which are very necessary for them. I found it very interesting, to be sure. I didn't think twice. And of course, I'd seen my friend graduate. He was also a biosystems engineer, and now he's a software developer. This is marvelous. This is what I want to do. So yeah, the
Amazing.
cost, I think I would still reiterate, because I was looking around to see which other places I could study tech. And I did a lot of research with this, but it was very, very expensive. Here in Belgium, I couldn't even think of achieving it because it's so expensive that at the end of the day, you have to part with a lot of money. And as young people are still trying to make a
Yeah.
life for themselves, that is not one of the best decisions that you could take. So I still, to date, I appreciate the fact that I landed into the hands of ALX and was able to actually get the chance to follow up the course until this point.
Amazing. When you're
Yeah.
becoming a software engineer, it's usually a two-horse race. You say that you're going back end or front end. So you chose back end. Is there
Yes.
anything that influenced your decision to go back end?
Yes, for sure. Like I said, I'm very creative. Apart from just wanting to code, I'm always creative. Like I find myself sometimes I want to write songs. I want to, create something. I even try to create beats and this type of thing. So I was like, also I want to be more of an entrepreneur. So I was like, I want to have the skill to actually understand what happens in the engine. So I was like, I really want to understand the inner part, how the wires are connected, so that the front part I know I would at the end of the day I still intend to also know the front end, but I focused on the back end because I believe that with the back end, with my knowledge and experience in environmental technology and engineering, it is possible to blend this and create. Already we are using some of these APIs in environmental tech. So I was like, if I can get deep and understand the processes that happen in the back end, then this would be what would work for me. So that's why I decided to first dive in the back end. And actually, I'm not intending to shift soon, or like to try and combine back end and front end. I just want to follow back end and specialize in it, so that later I'll just do front end because I want to be a full stack developer. But I'm specialized and focused in ensuring that I understand and get all the skills that are necessary for me to understand all the backend operations. So that's why I made the decision to study backend.
Amazing.
Yeah.
So you joined the program, the backend program, and before you jumped into, you paid for the backend program, and before you started on, the core matter, you had to go through like this 8 weeks foundation. Did that surprise you and shock you a little? And did you find it beneficial? Because I'm
Yeah.
imagining you're like, wow, okay, what's going on?
Yes. Okay. So for me, when I saw that already, I really put the level of skills and knowledge that I'll get from this institution high, because I'm very well exposed. Like I studied my master's here in Belgium, and Belgium is high standard of a level of education. So these are things that when I came to Belgium, I already see how they're incorporated in the system, because we do presentations like every week. We do group work, we do all these things that I was seeing in foundation. There are things that I first saw when I saw them practically when I came to Belgium for my master's. So the moment I saw the foundations course and the way it is guiding on how we can build the soft skills, how we can package yourself, how we can market ourselves, how we can pitch an idea, I think it's still crazy to moment. I still think of this program as a whole, and I really appreciate it. So foundations in itself, I learned a lot of things. I collaborated with a lot of friends in terms of trying to keep check of each other, peers. There are peers that we keep check of each other every week, try to find out, have you met your milestones? And this was very interesting because it's how the outside world works also, is how work is. Yeah, you have this accountability body who you can always check with and say, okay, Pinto, you said you do this by Friday. How is it going and stuff like that. So that was pretty much interesting. And I also like learned a lot to it and developed a lot. For instance, my time management was not that good when I went into foundations, but with time, I understood the tools that we were taught in foundations, and I understood the essence of it and tried to incorporate it in my operations because I was balancing work. Actually, I am still balancing work with ALX. So time management is one core thing for you to ensure that at the end of the day, you finish the course. Because without managing time, if you have to work and you have to do the program, it's challenging. So time management becomes core. So that's one thing that I still give to the foundations nowadays. I'm good in how I manage my time. I've improved in how I can prioritize tasks, know which one is important at what time and which one I can still do without. So that was amazing. I think for the African youth, this type of setup, because I studied in Africa, in Nairobi for all like my studies except the masters. And I know this is lacking because the foundations brings very important soft skills that you need. These are skills that often are not integrated into our education systems, which they should actually. They should. It shouldn't be only for ALX to do this, but yeah, ALX is marching forward to fill this gap that our own education systems has left. So yeah, foundations, I'll still recall it again and again. And I still took notes. I actually had notes for foundations and I still have notes for the backend program. So I constantly refound my notes and I find very valuable information in that book.
Yeah. Amazing, amazing. I've talked to a lot of other peers. They're like, wow, when they applied for the backend, they're expecting that they're going straight into coding, console, Python, whatever. Then when they met the foundations, at first it was like, okay, what's going on? But then when they started experiencing, they're like, okay, I didn't imagine this would be like a fitting puzzle.
Yes.
The missing, the missing.
Yes, I think it was great because some of the skills are actually like I say, I want to be an entrepreneur. So for instance, we are being taught how to pitch. These are things we have done in courses here and there, but not as polished as we were trying to do it in ALEX and in foundations. We had a lot of concepts, how you can make a pitch deck, how you can, if you have an idea, you can even show it to people to convince people that this is an idea that actually would solve a problem. And actually, not just that, how to even determine the problem, how to ensure that you don't examine something thinking it is a problem, it is not. So I think it's very valuable. The foundations, for me, when I first saw it, I was like, I didn't have hurry. I was like, oh, I know I need this because I saw the packaging, I saw the content of the foundations, and I was like, yeah, this is going to help. There's no problem. Of course, I was still eager to dive into Python, but I was like, this is actually going to prepare me to actually get everything out of the coding that I want to do.
Amazing. So you finished the 8 weeks foundations and then you finally started with the back end. Take us through the course structure. What are some of the skills? What are some of the languages that you learned? The model of teaching and all that. Just walk us through your experience.
Yeah, something that rings in my mind is that throughout the process, I've realized that it is packaged in a way that you learn how to learn. That is one thing that is clear to me, that you learn how to learn because the concept is well packaged, the content is well packaged, everything that you need to know as a backend engineer, but it teaches you how even to go further, to dive deep and to understand these things at a given level that now can make you operate these softwares with ease. So I think it's really well packaged, the backend course, because before I was actually still interested in learning how to code. So before I was even thinking like HTML, CSS, these are things I already like learned on myself. So I know some basic of it, but then when I came to the backend and found that they have packaged everything, they have brought everything in the correct sequence so that when you finish the course, you have at least some entry point level of skills that is needed for you as a software developer. So this is actually really, really, really helpful because otherwise, like I said, when I was studying HTML and CSS by myself, it was difficult even to know that at this point, what don't I have or what do I need to add? Or so you can be stuck in a loop of just getting resources and trying to know them by yourself. So the packaging, I found that it was so well. So first of all, we started with even understanding just what is a web framework for us backend engineers, because it gave us the basics of understanding what is it that at the end of the course we are going to be dealing with. So we started from the very, very fundamental things of being a backend engineer. Then we learned some of the tools that we need as a backend engineer. So for instance, we learned text editors like VS Code. We learned so in this manner, like you are given every tool that you need and that how they fit together. So that I found really helpful. So after learning, for instance, the text editor, then you are taught the language. So you already know where you are going to use the language. But even here in Belgium, the courses I've done for programming, there is no that the flow of information. So as a learner, you are like trying to fit in these things, and sometimes it can be very difficult. So that's why I appreciate Alex in the way they structure the course, because it's easy to really, it's like a channel. It's like a channel that you just need to build and build and build on each other, and it seamlessly fits. Because after that, then you learn, for instance, we learned now databases. After that, we learned now we now know where we can write our code. We know what will be used to compile our code. For our case is Python. We then now went further to learn the database, which databases will we be trying to manipulate, which we were taught all the types of databases that we can have. So you already have the knowledge of the database. Then we move forward to now actually manipulating that database. Beyond that, we went to now trying to build an application that can use that database, for instance. So we started building applications with Django, which now we like now as I'm working on Django, I already am like I understand about databases. So if something is not even working correctly as I think in Django, I have the ability to go back to MySQL, for instance, that is the database that I'm using, and check manually that how is the database looking like. So it's easy to even realize that, oh, that model is not working because this table is not correctly put in the database or something like that. So that's why I still appreciate, I know what I'm saying, and I just hope someone would listen to me, that
Yeah.
this is, you don't get it like this. I know I've studied, I studied engineering at University of Nairobi. It is never like this. Things always they don't fit. As a student, it's always you have, okay, you will need this, but then how do they fit is the big question. You always find how to fit them when you are in an entry level position, so which is also bad for the employers, because then they have to teach you how to fit this information. So that's
Yeah.
one thing I really appreciate Alex for. They package the course in a sense that if you really dive into it, if you give your time, you will get the most out of it. And I really feel confident. Even now, I'm already applying for jobs here in Belgium as a developer, because I feel like there's no secret that someone will tell me, oh, but you have not even graduated. No, I feel so confident because I can do the stuff. I can do the practical things. So the certificate or the fact that I graduate to me just remains like a milestone. But at the moment, I already feel confident. I make applications. I know I can do the right thing. And all this is because of how Alex packaged the course. And also because of my effort to, beyond that, go deep to try and understand. Because, yeah, the timeline is also short. 6 months for learning backend. So to be realistic, you have to also do extra. But you see, it's easy to blame mentors, for instance, and say, oh, I don't understand this, I don't understand this. It's because you don't take the extra effort to go and now understand the dynamics behind what you're being given, because the time is short. The course is put so that we have almost everything, which would take like 2 years. It's a 2-year program, but it's in 6 months. Or so it's impossible to actually be given everything, and then also even plus the details that are behind the scene. So I would implore anyone who wants to join the backend at ALX to don't waste any time. That's what I would say. Don't waste any time. Just enroll, because it's already well packaged. Just consider trusting on yourself to put the correct level of effort that is needed, and all should be well.
Don't waste any time.
Don't waste any time. Don't waste any time.
Exactly.
Don't hesitate. I think that should be the caption. If there is some caption for this, don't hesitate, because everything is well organized. We have nice mentors who are empathetic and also will understand if you're not understanding something. Peers are very remarkable. Like right now, we have peer groups that we consult each other. For us, we even have one extra big one that is just having everybody from around Africa. So it's not even it's like a big one with everybody who is interested. We are even looking at trying to build something together with all these people when we finally finish the course. So I think the support is there. The content is great. So don't hesitate. That's what I will say again.
Amazing. You're currently working on your capstone project. Are you willing to give us a sneak peek of what you're working on? Just a description of
Yes.
that final grand project.
Yes. So I'm working on a social media API. That's what I'm building now, because for backend, we are building API. So it's not like we are going to build a whole application. So I'm building a social media API that is really intriguing to me, because I actually take it personal. I follow it up. I'm so inspired to actually put the spanner, throw the spanner into the works. There are things that I've seen when using other social media applications, and felt that, oh, this experience could be better if this was done. So these are the things I'm also trying to implement on top of the fundamentals of a social media app. I'm also trying to solve problems that I experienced my own self as a user of these applications. So, for instance, I always felt that we have this, if you have a post in a social media application and you have comments to a certain post, there's sometimes I always read a post before and then I lose it. So like there are so many comments on the post, so you can't actually go back to find, oh, that comment was so nice. I would want to see it again. But it's not possible, because otherwise you have to scroll through all the comments.
Screenshot or
Yes, or you screenshot it. But if you didn't screenshot it, that is even the problem. Then you don't, it's difficult to get this type of information. So those are things that, with the knowledge that I've gotten by the ALX backing program, these are the things I'm trying to implement in my social media app to ensure that the users who will use my app are able to, just by typing something that you saw. So say if the comment was talking about Ruto, for us Kenyans, now Ruto is like in almost every.
don't take me there. That will be a
Yeah.
whole
It's
conversation.
like I was even hesitating to mention, because I know it's almost every comment will have Ruto this, Ruto that. So if you want to find everybody who has talked about Ruto in a particular post, just I will make it easy for you to type Ruto, and then you will have all the comments, and then you can even go further, just to still filter it so that you get what you want. This doesn't happen even at the moment. The Meta softwares that are there, the Facebook, Instagram, they don't have this. They only have it for the post, but they don't go deeper into the smaller aspects of of this. And I believe this can improve user experience because I have thought about it again and again. I ask myself, I want to see who said this. I can't. Now I have to go through the comments one by one, which is a waste of time. So these are some of the things that I want to include in the application. And so far, so good. So far, so good. I have my minimal valuable product. Is viable product is already ready. And that's why I'm saying now I'm adding on the advanced aspects of it because I don't want to stop. I want to go beyond and hopefully even have the prize for the capstone project of the year because I believe I have everything that I've been given to. Yes, fingers crossed. Yeah, because I believe I have everything I've been given by the course, and it's just for me to put the effort and do my best, and hopefully my best could be the best ahead of the rest. That's what I'm hoping for. Yeah.
Amazing. When you're done, please share it. We would love if you have your minimum viable product and you want to launch it. Faces of LX has a combined following of about 80,000 followers across social platforms. We'll be
Sure.
happy to spread that news for you if you are ready to ship. At the point you'll be ready to ship, we'll be happy.
Exactly.
We'll
Yeah,
be happy to see
I will keep
that.
in touch with you. I will keep in touch with you and
All right,
let you,
amazing.
yeah, on how it's proceeding.
All right, that's amazing, Pinto. We just love your energy, enthusiasm, and your ability to see it from both lenses. You studied here in Kenya. I know I'm Kenyan. I know the shortcomings of our education system. There is
Yeah,
so much theory and very little functionality to it. What you're talking
exactly.
about, the puzzles fitting and
Exactly.
understanding
Exactly.
understanding of where it applies. All
Yeah.
right. As we come to a close, I see we are 4 minutes over the time. I know you are pressed for time, working for the
Yeah.
Capstone project. Let's close it out. What would be your final words of wisdom or words of advice to your fellow young Africans?
Yeah, I think I would just be succinct and try to relay my mind because I always like I saw you are an Afro optimist. I'm kind of the same, and these are the things that I am endeared to seeing an Africa that operates, that is functional, not as it is right now. So, what I would tell to anyone they are listening to me is that as an African youth, technology could be a very, very, very strong tool for you, not even a scale, because, and that's why I ended up here, because I have other good level of education beside having to do tech. But I am here because I see tech as a tool to facilitate entrepreneurship. So because with tech, you don't need to like have some capital to go and buy raw products so that is when someone can even see your minimum viable product. You just need to code it. And if you understand it, then you can always have an MVP at any time, at the shortest time possible. So this would be my advice to anyone listening, especially the African youth, and to jump into this ship, not to waste time, to take the chance to follow up this course. It is, yes, it requires some work from you, but it is only the work that is enough. It's not too much. It's already explained. The mentors are also very helpful. So if you're in Africa, I think this is like a gold mine for you so that you jump in, get the tool, get yourself ready. As AI is coming into place, you already understand how to code. So you have so many opportunities. And with a high level of unemployment in Africa, with the way things, opportunities are so many. So if you have the tech skill, you have actually no chance of wallowing in the miasma of doubt. It is very, very easy for you to find something to do for yourself, to team up with other people, to create something. So that's the way I thought about it, actually. I didn't want to sugarcoat it. I wanted it to also, if someone listens to, so that it sinks, that is the basic way I thought about it. I wanted a way to be able to be an entrepreneur, and this is through tech. And then that is where Alex came in, and I really appreciate. So tech is for the future, and tech can also help us change Africa. Yeah, tech can help us really. There's still a lot of opportunities because most of the tech things are made by thoughts of white users, sorry to say, but because I live here, I know that most of the things that are helping, like if you look at the big Silicon Valley companies, most of these things, they are the users in mind are white people or high-end people, you know. But then, so the local African user doesn't doesn't get um, doesn't get the right um, doesn't get the right. I think I lost you a bit, but yeah, the
Yeah, I'm back.
The African user doesn't get the experience that they would if they also had African technocrats who also
Mhm.
played a role in this. So I think this is one way we can inspire the change because we are the leaders of today, not tomorrow. We
Yes.
can and just use this and to play a role as best as we can because, like I said, it's a low capital venture if you even want to be an entrepreneur. So you just need to have the skill correct, and ALX is here for that.
Amazing.